1B. Listening. It is recommended that you watch the previous vocabulary video before you continue the listening video. You will hear part of a radio program called Unbelievable but True. Incidents that are hard to believe but they happened, which features, which displays, shows you. Strange short stories in a dramatized form trying to make these stories more exciting, in a similar way that you see in movies and books. Listen and answer the question below. Who was responsible? Who caused the mess in Andy's house? Mess when things are untidy and dirty. And you will have to complete the sentences below. When Andy saw his house, the first thing he thought was that there had been a what? I think burglary is the answer here. A smart thing to do is trying to think of suitable, appropriate answers that you would use to fill in the blanks. That will help you find the answer faster when you listen to it. So try and take guesses. I think burglary is what fits here. He thought that there had been a burglary in his house. When Andy came home, the door was maybe open, maybe closed, maybe locked, maybe broken. All these are possible answers. Only Andy's have a key to his house. Andy's sister, Andy's friend, Andy's father. Andy's is on the same alarm system equipment that makes noise to warn people as the windows. I think Andy's door is on the same alarm system as the windows. The detective is someone whose job is to solve crimes. Thought that the thief was maybe still alive, maybe still around, still in the house, still in the neighborhood. Andy forgot to give the detective some very important details or information. Now listen to the recording and answer and complete the sentences.
When Andy Treadway entered his house one evening, he encountered an awful scene. Broken lamps, papers all over the floor, torn sofas, and the kitchen cupboards open with cans and bags of food thrown on the floor. The first thought that came to his mind was burglary. He ran quickly to the phone and called the police. Detective Alan Keyes was soon at the scene of the crime. He was wearing a large tan trench coat with a missing button and old worn-out brown shoes. Despite his appearance, he had sharp eyes which moved across the room, taking in everything in a single look.
So, Mr. Treadway, you say that the door was locked when you came home. Did the key turn easily in the door? Was there any difficulty in opening it?
Well, Mr. Keyes, I didn't notice anything at first. The door opened as it has in the past 3 years since I moved here.
And the outside windows seem to be intact, unbroken, you say? Do you keep your windows open or unlocked when you leave home?
No, never. In fact, the windows are set on an alarm system. If they're broken or opened, the alarm will be set off.
Have you ever given your house key to anyone, a friend, your parents, brothers or sisters?
Well, my parents do have a key, but then again they live in London. Other than that, I haven't given my key to anyone, unless someone stole the key from my parents, made a copy, and then returned here to Newcastle. I can't imagine how anyone could have got the key.
Nor I, Mr. Treadway. So, it would seem then that we either have an incredible thief who is able to pick a lock without leaving a mark, or, Mr. Treadway, we are facing something much worse.
Like what?
The door. Is it on the same alarm system as the windows?
Well, yes, of course it is.
And you haven't left this house since you returned home?
I've been here the entire time.
Then, if the windows are intact and the door hasn't been opened, this could mean only one thing. The thief is still in the house.
Oh my goodness!
A sound is suddenly heard in the next room, a strange scratching. Alan Keyes slowly makes his way to the door. He puts his finger to his lips as if to say, "Be very quiet," and in a flash he opens the door with a shout.
Gotcha!
And indeed the clever detective had caught the culprit. In the next room, a small rabbit looked up at the detective fearfully.
Snowball? I'm so sorry, Detective, but when I saw the disaster here in my house, I completely forgot the most important piece of information. I just got Snowball yesterday, and it must have got out of its cage and caused this little mess around the house.
Indeed, this little mess. That would explain everything, wouldn't it?
Now, please answer the question and complete the sentences. If you felt like you need to listen to the recording again, then there is no reason why you shouldn't listen to the recording again. Listen to it over and over until you are ready to check your answers. Now read the listening transcript. When Andy Treadway entered his house one evening, he encountered, he saw, he witnessed, he faced an awful scene, something terrible to see. Broken lamps, papers all over the floor, everywhere on the floor, torn sofas. This thing is sofa. Torn means it was cut, it was damaged. And the kitchen cupboards open. The kitchen cupboards open with cans and bags of food thrown on the floor. The first thought that came to his mind was burglary. Burglary is when someone breaks into a house to steal. He ran quickly to the phone and called the police, so he thought that this was a burglary. Detective Alan Keyes was soon at the scene, at the place of the crime. He was wearing a large tan trench coat. Tan is a color, yellowish brown. Trench coat is a type of coats which you see in the picture, with a missing button. You know, these are buttons. Missing button, one of the buttons wasn't there. And old worn out brown shoes, worn out. They are not new, they are not in good condition because of regular use. So the way the detective looked wasn't actually very good. Missing button, worn out shoes. Despite his appearance, now forget about the way the detective looked, appearance, the way he looked. Despite of that, he had sharp eyes. When you have sharp eyes, you have high ability of understanding things, which moved across the room, taking in everything in a single look. He was very smart. So, Mr. Treadway, you say that the door was locked? When the door is locked, it is closed and shut with a key. Only key can open it. When you came home, did the key turn easily in the door when you tried opening it? Was there any difficulty in opening the door? Well, Mr. Keyes, I didn't notice anything unusual. Everything was normal at first. The door opened the same way it did in the past 3 years. Nothing special since I moved here. The door was locked with a key, and the outside windows seemed to be intact, not broken. Unbroken, you say? Do you keep your windows open or unlocked when you leave home? No, never. In fact, the windows are set on an alarm system. If they are broken or opened, the alarm will be set off. The alarm will be set off means the alarm will start making noise, giving warning to everybody around the house or inside the house. Have you ever given your house key to anyone? Maybe a friend or your parents, brothers or sisters. Well, my parents do have a key. Yes, they have a key, But then again, they live in London, far away from here. Other than that, I haven't given my key to anyone, unless maybe somebody stole the key from my parents. Stole is the past of steal, when you take something that is not yours. And after they stole the key, maybe they made a copy of the key and then returned here to Newcastle. Newcastle is the name of the city where the crime happened. I can't imagine how anyone could have got the key. So only Andy's parents have a key. No rai means I can't understand that as well, Mr. Treadway. So it would seem then that we either have an incredible thief, a thief that can do things that are hard to believe, who is able to pick a lock. When you pick a lock, you unlock a door without using the key, without leaving a mark, without leaving a fingerprint or any clue. Or, Mr. Treadway, we are facing something much worse than a thief. Like what? The door. Is it on the same alarm system as the windows? Well, yes, of course it is. So the door is on the same alarm system as the windows. And you haven't left this house since you returned home? I've been here the entire time, the whole time. Then, if the windows are intact, not broken, and the door hasn't been opened, this could mean only one thing. Pauses. The detective stopped talking for a little while. It means that the thief is still in the house. The detective thought that the thief was still in the house. Oh my goodness, the thief is in the house? A sound is suddenly heard in the next room. A strange scratching. Scratching sounds like this. Alan Keyes slowly makes his way to the door. He moved towards the door. He puts his finger to his lips. Lips is the flesh that covers the mouth. He put his finger like this, which means shh, be very quiet. And in a flash, quickly, he opens the door with a shout. Loud voice, gotcha! Gotcha means I got you. I caught you. And indeed, it's true. The clever detective, clever the smart, in a foxy way, had caught the culprit criminal. In the next room, a small rabbit looked up at the detective fearfully, full of fear, was so afraid, the little thing. Snowball! I'm so sorry, detective. But when I saw the disaster, when I saw the mess, disaster is when something terrible happens. Here in my house, I completely forgot the most important piece of information. I just got Snowball yesterday, and it must have got out of its cage. Here is Snowball inside the cage and caused this little mess around the house. So he forgot to give the detective important information. Irritated, bothered, annoyed. He wasn't happy. Indeed, it's true, this little mess, huh? That would explain everything, wouldn't it? So, who caused the mess? It was Snowball, Andy's new pet rabbit. Thank you for watching this video. If you like it, please share it with friends. I will catch you again in the next one, inshallah. Goodbye.